trade mission took place June 17 to 27, 2014. One of the more important people in this trade mission, Honorable MP and Minister of International Trade I.A.S, played a key role in signing agreements and bringing progressive delegates and organizations to diversify their business. Canada was in need of increasing many sectors of their economy through primary industries, in which in this trade mission they saw a heavy need of investments in sectors like oil, mining, energy, and agriculture, which Tanzania and Africa are dominant in, as well as Canadian companies and organizations such as C.A. Commercials Corporations, CPC, Sky Power, and Export Development Canada were some of the many companies that had a vision of reducing coal-generated electricity and producing more renewable energy, decreasing poverty rate, and increasing infrastructure and jobs through Canadian companies promoting and investing their ideas and products and brands in those struggling areas of Tanzania and South Africa's economy. And lastly, a strong relationship between countries which increases credibility for enterprises, corporations, and private investors and attracts more businesses in those countries to help with the agenda of this trade mission. Slowly, Tanzania's economy is changing from traditional economy to liberalized market economy through the investments, expansions, and some of 7% growth from large sectors of Tanzania's economy. Tanzania's economy is mostly based off of industry types such as agriculture and mining. This has a lot to do with recent discoveries of raw materials such as diamond, gold, and silver, as well as weather conditions are well, which allowed a qualitative amount of growth in agriculture. All these factors play a role in exponential increase of growth in Tanzania's economy. Tanzania runs a democratic system due to the CCM party being in power. With President Jakaya Kikwete coming from a socialist party, it reflects his way of running his country, economy, and investments. This also harmonizes the trade mission because both countries share the same political system, and that allows for a more fluent trade.
The overall GDP, or gross domestic product, for Tanzania is low at around $694 United States currency. The GDP is essential in determining a nation's total economic activity. More specifically, it represents the monetary value of all goods and services produced within the nation's geographic borders over a specified period of time. As such, we can see that Tanzania has a very low GDP, showing that the amount of goods and services produced within the border are low. 1 shilling is worth 0.0060 of a cent in Canada, showing the difference between the Canadian economy and Tanzanian economy. However, due to the trade agreement, Tanzania's GDP increased 7%. Overall business enterprise and the money the government could obtain from taxes had increased by 10%, and unemployment reached the lowest ever in Tanzania at 10.3%. Canada is viewed as a mixed economy because not only the government in Canada makes choices for the country, but citizens also get to give their opinions about what is best for Canada. The government helps the market in many ways, such as healthcare, environmental care, education, and all other types of services. In Canada, people privately own the industries, and there are some industries and companies which are publicly owned by the government. Many different forms of ownership are available, and depending on the type of ownership, all profit might be given to the owner as a reward for the risk they undertook in operating a business. Also, increased competitions keeps prices of products low and quality of products high. Overall GDP of Canada is $51,958, showing that overall our economy and goods and services produced massively beats the Tanzanian production rate. Our GDP overall had a 2% annual change from the trade agreement, and it helped boost our economy in terms of value even higher. 1 Canadian dollar is worth 1,666 shillings, showing that conducting trade in Tanzania would be hugely beneficial as we can afford and pay extremely reduced prices, unlike if we did trade with a more developed country. Canada is currently in a trade deficit, meaning we import more than we export, which could impact negatively in the future if we rely too highly on international companies to keep our economy going. Risk and barriers of trade. Terrorism acts are low in the country, but have occurred, which could be a cause for concern. As this trade revolves highly around oil and mining sectors within Tanzania, it could be placed in jeopardy if not taking the necessary precautions from any illegal activities. The political system of Tanzania is also known to be unstable at times, as many riots take place, and the Prime Minister of Tanzania has been known to be somewhat corrupt, and as such, corruption in business is notable in the Tanzanian economy. Since Canada relies heavily on the mining and energy sectors, environmental disaster could cause a negative impact on the shared profit between countries, as Tanzania is known to have the occasional disaster. Finally, many forms of tariffs have been placed on outside businesses in Tanzania, which makes increased trade and the success of outside entities severely reduced.